Hey, what is up, everybody? How is everyone doing? Tafre, what's up, my friend? I had to talk about you kicking my Nimrod's butt the other day on a video, and I did not enjoy it. I simultaneously enjoyed it and did not enjoy it, but it was cool anyways. What is going on, man? Jason, how you doing, my friend? And I think someone else chatted already, but I am not seeing it for some reason. Kind of getting stuff set up here. I'm looking forward to starting. I really want to get to Toad and Sauron today. So we should get that done. I've set aside a couple hours at least to get there. So I think we shouldn't have any problems with that. And like I said in the pinned comment, I believe some of the rankings crew will be stopping by. If you're not familiar with those guys, you got to check them out. These are channels I watch. I've watched most of them for a very, very, very long time. And I watched them to get better at this game. So it's a good thing. Hey, what's going on? Gary, thank you so much for being here. Bobby, LC, man, congratulations on the 1,000 subscribers. You know, with me, if there's not something technically wrong with the stream at some point, it's really not a Vegas stream. So if you guys can confirm with me if the sound is working out, I would really appreciate that. I am also changing around some settings. I've been saying this for a long time. I hope to improve the stream, and I think eventually we'll get there. Maybe in 2023. What is going on? A wild Nemeski. Happy New Year to you too. You watched DLL's Odin video today? Nice. Dude, DLL is an encyclopedia on this game. He just is. He's been an alliance leader for a very long time, a BG leader, and I know not everyone loves war. I think that's totally fine. I get that. I'm not trying to make people like war. But one of the things war does is it's constantly providing new matchups on nodes and defenders, and then that's forcing you to really dive into the nuances of these champions, and then you can go and take that into questing content and what have you. And DLL's been a war planner for so long. The guy just knows so much about the game, how it interacts, how it works, masteries, the whole thing. And like I said, they are all listed. It's just the default setting for me now. For any of the guys in my rankings team is their channels are in the description. That way, anytime I'm just like, oh, the rankings team, people can just go there. They know who I'm talking about, and they can go check it out. No sound, Savage K. I think you might have me muted, which some people would say is not a bad thing. Gary up to nothing. I'm going to try to knock this out. I've done a little bit of reading on Sauron and Toad. I have not been able to dive really much into either of them. I think Nimrod should handle them. And then if Kabam wants them to seem like even better defenders than they are, I think the nodes will counter Nimrod in this. I think that's something we've seen time and time again. And I shouldn't say want to. I can't know the mind state of Kabam, obviously. But we've seen that where a champion comes into the game and then the node in the EQ makes them appear or feel to us as summoners significantly more powerful defensively than they truly are. Like I'm very curious about Kraven. I know he caused a lot of problems for some people. I had a CGR, I have a rank 3 CGR, so he wasn't too bad for me, and I know there's other champions that could work out for him, but I think he probably appeared more difficult than he's going to be for us in the rest of the game.
I think I took off like 80% of him with an appropriately ranked Purgatory yesterday, so...
Are you serious?
Well, that was Master, so like there are fewer of the awful nodes, but that kind of proves your point.
Well, and I assume your Purgatory is not a rank 3.
Well, she's a rank 3 5-star.
Okay, so that even further proves my point. For those who don't know this delicious voice, it is DLL. I pointed it at the ears as if you guys are hearing through my headset, which you're obviously not. This is DLL, Daddy Longlegs, and there you go. Right there you go. With a rank 5, with a rank 3 5-star. Crushing Kraven. Okay. All right. That's amazing.
Oh, so this is the new interface. Mine is still downloading. I've heard many things.
Yeah. There's some hope that, because I don't particularly like it right now. There's some hope. Now, this isn't CCP knowledge. Yes, I'm in the CCP. At no point has Kabam said this to us. Do I need to reset the game now? I do, don't I?
Oh, for the EQ? Yeah, I believe so.
All right, guys. So it's just going to be the Be Right Back screen, but I'm not really going anywhere. Let's see. Where's the Be Right Back screen? But there's some hope and thought. I read this on my Discord server, I think it was, that maybe all that extra space that's now been created is for like the new game modes. Like hopefully they're preparing for solo mode and things like that. Yeah, I know. I know. I try to be optimistic, but sometimes it's just really, really difficult, right?
Any individual thing that Kabam does without reservation, but I try to be cautiously optimistic on the whole.
Yeah, and it's really difficult to do it because, especially being in the CCP, in that they're lovely people. Like, they are lovely, lovely people. Like, so incredibly nice and helpful that you're just like, there's no way that this is an act, right? Like, that they're like, okay, I'm going to log on to Discord and act really nice and helpful for a few minutes. Like, you're like, okay, I think this is very genuine. So I don't even know. I don't know. And like you saw, guys, in the pin comment, you know, normally if you're familiar with my streams, I like to chat and we'll sit here and just talk for 20 minutes. And I still am very much enjoying seeing the comments. I will try to answer some. Please ask questions. Let's interact. But I really want to get through this so we can get to Toad and Sauron. I'm not going to continuously say this. So that will be a lot of, but still, I mean, that's part of why DLL is here, and me too. And so we'll talk and interact. Just won't be quite as much from me as usual. All right, so let's go ahead and check this out.
Back to the. I'm sorry, I just hate that tech node on the first quest.
So did they keep them all the same? They got a lot of negative feedback on this.
Well, I think they said even last month that they were planning on alternating between these. So it's not really a surprise, but I just hate that it's this tech node in particular.
Yeah, and I should have paid more attention to them. So if you guys have like the too long didn't read version, feel free to just shout it out to me. Because you guys know me, I'll sit and stare at
Shock
it.
the opponent.
That's it?
Well, specifically have a shock on them when they finish their special attacks, so long shocks are good.
Okay.
Either that or they'll be unblockable, so if you have ways to deal with unblockable, you can do that.
And this is the boss, it looks like, right?
Yeah. One thing that isn't immediately obvious is that Guardian actually kind of works for this. If he, quote, crits and you get that instant shock right as you punish their special, it counts and turns it off. But that's a bit risky.
Yeah, he's a weird one. Okay, this doesn't look like anything too crazy. Watch, I'm going to use a bunch of items on that. All right, let's jump into this.
Based on that, I think I'm going to go ahead and take Miles to rank 2.
I was thinking about it based on what the nodes are.
Yeah, I don't know why. I am very much wanting to rank 2 Miles. I actually kind of want to rank 3 him.
I think part of it for me is that now I have Penny. Like, having somebody to run with Penny and Mysterio is really appealing.
I don't think it's a coincidence that you and I both ranked up Penny and then now are very interested in Miles.
Yeah, not having to throw that first special one is pretty important.
I can't think of anyone else. I guess Nebula. I just can't stand playing her. But let's do that. And
probably, yeah, you already have Silver Centurion. I just took my unduped one to rank 2. I got tired of waiting.
He's so good, man. I think the Awakened Will is a big deal, but obviously you know this game. I'm not worried about.
I just won't use him as a torch replacement until he's duped. But I wouldn't be doing that this season anyway because of High Ground, so it's fine.
It was interesting for me to hear that as a torch replacement. Like, can you explain what you mean by that a little bit?
Yeah. So I know you've heard me say this before, but one thing that I really like about Silver Centurion is that, he has those passive damage over time effects, which is one of the big things people always talk about with Torch, where it's like, oh, Torch will just crush that because all of the stuff that's supposed to punish debuffs, all of the stuff that's supposed to punish A, B, C, whatever, Mighty Charge, Torch will be fine, just use his pre-fight. But then you lose the pre-fight, and so if you have 2 of those fights in a row, like those are some of the hardest planning decisions for officers in general in war are, where do we put our Torch pre-fights? And if you have an awakened Silver Centurion and you're willing to be a little bit more patient with him than you would be with Torch, then you don't have to do that pre-fight work. You can just send him to all of them. Now, obviously, Torch has some other advantages, like he counters miss, he reverses healing, etc. But, like, if all you need is, I need to do a lot of damage via passive effects, then Silver Centurion is your guy. And it's funny that Strands just showed up in the chat as I was talking about this.
What's up, Strands? I intentionally am playing Hulkbuster and hope that we can get like Jacob and Work to show up. Hulkbuster, man. I love playing this guy. I recognize he's not the best champion. I get it, but I just absolutely love playing him. What's up, Strands? What's up, Jacob? I had seen him. Andre, what's up, man? Yusafa, how are you doing, my friend? Thank you so much for being here. BK, how you doing, buddy? I make a living out of making people think that I am nice. Reality is contra. Well, you are very, very good at it, from what I can tell. Am I going to regret taking Hulkbuster to Silver Warrior? There's something about Silver Warrior I always forget. Whatever.
Yeah, is that all damage over time effects now? His armor ups reduce the ability accuracy of at least bleed and poison. I'm going to mute for a second.
Okay. Guys, I am not worried about items or anything like that. I'm really just going to try to get through this. In fact, I may even boost if we realize that it's just not going quickly enough. I will boost just to... I want to get to Sauron and Toad. I really do. I'd like to see them. I think they're going to be unique. I do think Nimrod's well situated to handle both of them. But knowing Kabam, they will put on some nice nodes that make it so Nimrod... And I'm trying to figure out what they would do to make it so Nimrod can't be effective against him. I'm trying to figure out how you would counter Nimrod. Because he doesn't counter their ability accuracy or anything like that. That's not what he does. Scrap metal doesn't attract you. I think it may have, Jacob. I hate delivering difficult truths, even though I just put a video out titled Difficult Truths. But this may be a difficult truth, my friend. It might be something for you to think about. You know what's cool is I did a null video recently. It was cool. But the cool thing was someone asked me how he interacts with Omega Red due to his instant bleed. And I had not thought of that. And another person commented. The comment section on my videos is always awesome. You guys share so much knowledge with each other. But the relevant part of this was that he does actually trigger the instant bleed. The effect. I can't remember what it's called. Yeah.
But it would only be for a split second, right?
Okay, which it is. And that's what the commenter said. And I apologize if you guys are watching. I apologize I don't remember your names. But I thought it was so cool. And the commenter said that. They're like, well, yes, he does trigger the death field, but it's so quick it doesn't damage you. So I went very quickly to test it out because I wanted to answer the original question and I wanted to know myself. And it's true. It is very quick. But if you stand there and continue to hit Omega Red, because one of the plays to play Null, right, is the backdraft intercept because you're just landing the lights over and over. If you do that enough, you actually will eventually get to the 10 spores or whatever on you, and it will start to cause damage. Like I did it.
Right.
Yeah.
And then each individual, you probably do take some small ticks.
Yeah.
Yeah, along the way. That does make sense.
So maybe it wasn't just the death field itself. I don't know. Whatever it was, I just thought it was a really cool interaction. And I enjoy reading the comments for stuff like that.
Okay. Claim isn't highlighted anymore for rewards. There are a lot of weird things about this UI. I appreciate that they're working on it.
Yeah. I've given them till March.
Yeah.
And if in March, that's the deadline for me. If March and we have not seen significant improvements or, like them explaining something meaningful, we're like, oh, okay, all right, let's be a little more patient, whatever. I mean, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm not going to quit the game. I enjoy it. But I will be very unhappy. Let's put it that way. I don't think they're worried about me being unhappy, though.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Does anyone know if they added strikers? That's supposed to be the side event, I think, this month, right? Well, that'd be cool to check out. But that's not the point of today. Silver Centurion, is he immune to Incinerate? I know he's got those two funky...
No, I think it's just Bleed and Shock.
Bleed and Shock?
Yeah, he's perfect for the new hazard shift.
Well, let's try Guardian and see what happens.
Yeah, Guardian works fairly well against Bishop. Bonus points if you can parry the specials, but Bishop is a tough one for me.
Yeah, that's not happening. I already messed up once here.
Doobie says, should I rank 3 Sig 40 Sparky or unduped Silver Centurion? Oof. I would say that probably depends on where you are in the game. Because early on, especially if you have a bunch of certain kinds of content, like, you know, Act 5 or Act 6, then I think Spark is incredibly helpful for those kinds of things, and he would do a ton for you. Later on in the game, like for somebody's account more like mine, having just another squishy damage dealer is not super appealing, and the more niche uses of Silver Centurion kind of take over, if that makes sense.
That's a tough one, right, with the unduped. And there's a lot of recent 6-star Sparky love going around the community. All right, let's continue just to move through this as quickly as possible. Yeah, I think Jacob's addressing what I was saying about Omega Red. So maybe that's all it was, Jacob, as far as Null and Omega Red. If you guys are totally unclear what I'm talking about, I see Jacob's comment. All right. The left side of my phone is just not responding the way I want it to. It is what it is.
It's a new month. Bound to get hit.
I think it's actually my phone. Like, it feels, the texture of it doesn't feel right.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. There you go.
Hey, Misty.
See, I told you, the love of Sparky is like, it's like Valentine's Day, and Sparky has been hit by Cupid's arrow. I guess it's us, right? That was a bad analogy. But anyways, MSD, can you tell, like, what is it that's so good? Because I very much felt like he was kind of falling out of the meta. Is it like the extra health pool? Is it the adrenaline, being able to get the health back? Or is he just that good and we kind of forgot?
And how much of it is, to be blunt, that you're MSD and you don't get hit as much as some of us?
Yeah, there's also a bit of that. Just gonna call it out. Whenever it was affecting him, each time his drone is stunned, he gains a cruelty.
I was just looking at that. I think I'm going to bring a Mystic for him.
Well, so he's just gonna go stun immune.
Mm-hmm.
So I shouldn't stun him when he's stun immune?
Right. Don't expect your parries to stick, but that also means that you don't want to, like, block a full combo in response if you've just knocked him down because of Rise to Power.
When the defender is knocked down, a forcing timer starts. When active, each time the defender lands a hit or strikes. Yep. All right.
That's that, like, Path 7B node.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think No, I've taken that one. I should know that better. That's section 2, Path 7?
Yeah, the one that's it's also on Domino, the Spite node, where they often put Domino.
Yeah, how long ago was that added? I should know that. Sometimes it scares me when you're like,
a bit.
Yeah. You know what?
Also something that Archangel turns off.
So that's probably why. I also didn't do a lot of Domino versus Archangel, or Archangel versus Domino the last few seasons. It just didn't work out that way.
We tended to keep doing that just because I know a lot of people still send Warlock there, but I'm not willing to gamble on willpower these days.
Yeah. I think that's where it gets dangerous, right? Well, and you guys made Master too. And so I think that's one of those things that you see more at that Master level.
Our war rating was getting kind of high. And I tend to, the further up you go, the more that you trust that not just are some people placing with troublesome masteries, but you kind of expect that, like, most are.
Yeah.
Like, the people placing Havocs and Dominoes probably aren't running willpower. The people running, like, I don't know, Ebony Maw and Mojo are probably running unfazed. See, MSD says, I think the second one is at the forefront of my love for him to be totally blunt. I forget which factor was the second one. I think that was something you said. He says, definitely better with adrenaline and the additional stats. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Right, adrenaline is just so huge in making glass cannons feel less dangerous. It's one of my favorite things about 6-star Tigra as well. But he says that he would rank Silver Centurion in that commenter's situation as well.
Even without the dupe. Because it was an unawakened Silver Centurion, right?
Right, so you lose the passive stuff, but you still get, you know, the niche immunities, the no crits.
Yeah,
There's
that's true.
Stuff there. The slow. He's still the only tech with slow.
He's a really valuable rank up to an account, I think, especially because, like, even as your account grows, there's going to be unique things he does that are still provide a lot of value. OG Highland, dude, thank you so much. Not here long, here for your time. I love it. Well, thank you for being here, my friend. It's been a while since we got a weather report, just in case you felt like sharing one. All right, let's keep moving through here. We gotta keep. I think we're on a good pace. Yeah, we're on a fine pace. Let's preview this. What do we got coming up?
Ooh, Silver Centurion really starts cooking with these shocks. That's ridiculous.
Okay, so each time a Mystic Attacker gains a regeneration effect, why are they gaining regeneration? There's probably something in here. Each time a Mystic Attacker clicks Power Burn, Steal, or gain Indefinite Fury. Okay, so when Mystic Champions do Mystic things, they get a Fury. The defender has indefinite power. I'm clearly missing something.
No, you basically just have to... the regen thing is just to let certain mystics
Power control more. Power control is how you get the Furies.
Okay.
So like somebody like Sorcerer, once you get the regen rune up, if you block a full combo, you get 5 small power, whatever it is, steals, drains, and then 5 Furies.
But was there any reason not to just
she's
like...
pretty ridiculous for it.
For sure? Okay. I mean, I enjoy using her, so... Start the fight, defend against Kinetic Shield, preventing damage for 10 seconds. I don't like these.
Oh, it's this one.
Yeah, I don't like this at all. When active... Wait, what? This isn't the one I thought it was. While active, all damage that is attempted by the attacker, excluding special 3, is stored. Oh, no, this is the one I'm used to. It basically just alternates.
Yeah, it's the one from the Captain America boss.
Okay. That's always fun. Okay. Well, we'll I'll bring Herc in CGR just to have fun with it, and then we'll bring Mystic Champions.
Yeah, Himenkin, that's me. Sorry if I butchered your name.
Oh yeah, Kinetic Reactor. That's why I almost messed up the Havoc fight. Let's read the nodes, shall we?
There we go. And let's get to it. Strands, I place Domino with willpower. And I never ever run in phase. Oh, so strikers are out. Very interesting. Yeah, I think it's gonna take a while to get used to. I also saw I saw are they are out, right? Let's confirm they're out. Maybe I didn't see anything. You know what happens to a token gets struck by lightning? Mr. Slayer, Mr. Gods, really enjoyed your video today on Kushala. I think you may have inspired me to get one out myself. I would really like her in this game. Each time a Mystic Attacker... okay, let's just see what the heck happens here. Well, let's start with Sorcerer
Hey,
Supreme.
LC. How's it going, guys?
What's up, LC? How you doing, buddy?
Yeah, I would be very happy with Kushala. I totally see your point. I think you were the one who made the point about how Quicksilver could be cool after seeing what they did with Hawkeye, but you don't necessarily trust that he will be.
Yeah, I feel badly about that. But it is.
I get where you're coming from.
It's my truth. Man, we're gonna start this over. Came out of the gate slow.
And square, no swinging.
Yeah. But that's how. What's weird is that's how my first fight in the last one went too. It was just like the left side of my phone was like, "Yeah, we're not gonna do this. It's gonna work." I do think this is the lane with the least nodes on it, though, so that's why I'm going to this. And I will also admit, Annihilus is like one of my most feared defenders.
Yeah, he's kind of annoying.
Yeah, he's a jerk. In fact, I think I'm just going to use Doom just because of how tanky Doom is.
Oh, shush, Toffrey.
What's Toffrey going
Says
on
we
about?
need a version of Thor who's actually good.
Didn't we have one? Actually, wait, we don't really as a 6-star dude. I'm not a big Ragnarok fan.
No, he's fine. He's not amazing. It's almost obvious, or I think it's almost arguable that the best Thor is Odin.
Is he technically a Thor?
No, but the power comes from the same place, right? So
And it's all the same.
you can squint, look at it sideways. How's it going, Buddy Lee?
Buddy, what's up, man?
I kind of agree with Slayer as well. I think we can take a bit of a break from Cosmics.
So if I make a Kushala video, I'm going to try really hard to like not put down the other champions because one, I think she's worthy on her own, and two, they're like fan favorites. Like people have been talking about like Beta Ray Bill and Quicksilver for a very long time, right?
I would be happy with literally all 12, which is always my least favorite part about this because I don't want to wait a year for the others.
I was trying to figure if there's no way for me to get rid of this protective passive.
You just keep their power as low as possible. It's a really annoying node.
Yeah, that's maybe I shouldn't have chosen this one, guys. Sorry, I thought it was going to be the fastest.
Oh no, that's a global.
Oh, even better.
Yeah, this is my least favorite Mystic node, and my least favorite Tech node. It's a great month.
So we'll be looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Beta Ray Bill and Quicksilver were publicly in my top 5, but I had to roast them in favor of Kushala.
That must have hurt a little bit.
That Slayer.
I like he did a nice video today. It's only like 3 or 4 minutes long if I remember, but it's really good. People should check it out.
Yeah, I'll for sure check that out. I'm a bit behind on YouTube over the holidays. You know, 2 others who made my like personal top 5 were Prowler and Crystal. And for kind of like weird reasons, but like Crystal I think would be cool to see them expand the Inhumans. It would give them an excuse to finally buff Black Bolt. Cat would draw a lot of mashups with her, I'm sure. That's a very selfish reason.
It is, but it's not.
It's not nothing.
It's not nothing.
And I think that the elemental powers sound very cool in game, because the flavor of hers would be very different than some of the other elemental characters that we've seen, and I think it could lead to a really cool kit. And then Prowler, I just think the character is awesome. He was voiced by Mahershala Ali in the Spider-Verse movie, and I think he would have some great synergies with characters that I enjoy.
So I have to admit, I did not. I was so focused on Kushala and then lamenting that Quicksilver and Beta Ray Bill were in there that I didn't even really look through the pool until earlier today. And then when you said Prowler, it was on the Discord server. I was like, oh yeah, that actually would be kind of cool.
He would probably look amazing,
Yeah.
especially if they tried to borrow his moveset a bit from the Spider-Verse animation.
Agreed.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens. I don't think I'll be unhappy with any of them, but I definitely do not have the attachment to Beta Ray Bill that a lot of people do.
That's from the Thor storyline, right? That's what we were saying earlier. Of course it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he like it says in the description online, he was like the champion of an alien species, fought Thor when Thor was Thor and he wasn't, and then, picked up the hammer, and Odin was like, cool, he's worthy too, I'll make him his own hammer.
So if I was a huge Thor fan, and not that I'm not, it's just that most of my knowledge on Thor comes from the MCU, so I'm not going to pretend to be like this OG fan. Anyone that can like pick up the hammer, I think would get me excited.
Yeah, because they tend to be like, it's just fun to play as those kind of people. Ooh.
Yeah. That is what you don't want to do versus Longshot.
Yeah. Well, don't throw your special 3.
And I don't think I thought this matchup through very well at all. Doom is probably going to die.
Oh.
And
I said don't throw your special 3 too late.
Why aren't you in the future? Oh well. Okay. Sorcerer Supreme? I think so, right?
Yeah, that should be pretty good. She can block everything safely.
Hopefully there's not a lot of fights left, because I was enjoying using Doom. Man, now I'm so concerned about blocking. Man, I haven't played her in a while. I did not want to do that. For those wondering, I was just trying to get into the her attack phase to throw the special 2. He does not want to throw it, so we'll throw our special 3. Alright, let's see if we can do some damage now. Would still really like to get him to throw his special, though. There we go.
Jason said new solo quest is gone. Does that mean that strikers are that bugged?
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, I don't know if I can handle more bad news today on this front, guys.
Yeah, I mean, the only good news today, which is very much for me and not the game as a whole, is that I have another week to work on guides.
I did notice that with War Season down, my ability to get out videos improved significantly. But
Mine would have if I was not so dedicated to my vacation.
yeah, traveling, being with family and stuff like that definitely comes in. I just have to still be working. So it was a little bit different for me. All right. Shorter list, what isn't bugged? Yeah, just strands, that's... Yeah. Yeah. Is that... Have we confirmed that's what happened? Is... is that strikers are down for that reason. Man. Were strikers in the game and then they didn't seem that bugged? Okay, so strikers were in the game. Yeah, what are the chances? Surprise, surprise, surprise. I wonder what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, that at least is a fairly new thing that sounds brand new and complicated. I'm kind of disappointed they didn't get bans set. Strands, the current plan is Storm X for the next one. I just need to actually do it. I have the footage. See, Toffrey, you say that Hawkeye's slowdown feature has had no bugs. I swear it feels like maybe a fourth of the time that I go for it. Even if I do nothing, like if I don't touch, I wait for him to pull out the arrow, so like I'm not trying to trigger it too early. I jump through all the hoops, and it still just doesn't slow down, and then I have to notice it and hope that I release in time without the benefit of the slow. It's rough.
The question was asked, what is strikers? They are, what's the best way to explain what they are? They're kind of like another champion you can kind of call in. It appears to be right now for just like a special move or like a specific ability.
Yeah.
And it was going to be limited in this event quest to, I think just like 4 or 5 champions.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I've heard it described as like a Marvel Capcom like tag-in, but it seems to be a little more limited than that. Maybe if you think of it as like the way that Rocket joins Groot's Special 3, but then a little more general.
Yeah, I think on some level we kind of need to see it in the game. That's why we're not able to give a really great description. And I think it's going to be part of the side quest this month. I keep saying the event quest, but the side quest.
Buddy Lee says, what was that specifically about Karina? Just finish the Star-Lord Karina, just Inhumans to go, and then rank 4 Tigra. That's awesome, man.
For sure, Tigra, buddy? That is awesome.
Yeah, she was definitely on the short list. She'd be so much fun. And she benefits from a fair amount of the stuff.
The block proficiency and base attack especially will be nice. So Rob Diddley asks, any tips on how to play Elsa Bloodstone? I'm not personally familiar with any comprehensive guides yet, but I would send you towards Campo MC's channel because he probably has the most content out of anyone I know who plays her regularly, talks through a lot of things she can do, and there are a lot of really great war fights in there that you maybe wouldn't expect she'd be as good for as she is.
Yeah, definitely Campo. I check out his channel. You can go to the description of this stream, and his channel will be in there. I know for a fact he's done at least one Elsa video that I was like, oh, I kind of starting to get it. There are other good videos out there that just for whatever reason didn't make a ton of sense to me, but I believe he's got even a full kind of like how to play her guide. It should be in
that's right. I remember him talking about rotations.
Yeah, it should be in the playlist on my channel, but honestly, I prefer you go straight to Campos. Check it out. All right. This probably will fail miserably. I want to pick up the pace if I can.
Sauron, I would point you towards the pinned comment. Both of us are trying to play through this new EQ, and we catch some things and not others. I promise we're not trying to ignore you.
Yeah, don't hesitate to repeat a question too, guys.
Yeah, but Karan was asking you what your experience has been like in the CCP program.
In general, very, very positive. The people that are there from Kabam, I think very much want to get information out and be helpful. And I have not been able to test things as much as I had hoped I would, but a lot of that's due to my own time and trying to play the game. And then just at the last half of this year, there's been so many rank up resources that I have ranked 3 champions that I have barely even played. That feels ridiculous, but it is the truth. Man, I didn't think he'd be able to block that. I guess I got lucky that he did. I was trying to answer the question and didn't really think through the node.
Rat asks, did you know Hawkeye is bugged again? Yeah, I heard you mention that earlier.
I've been trying not to say anything because, like I said, guys, I really don't... Yeah.
Yeah. Can I, at the risk, can I ask what it is? Because I haven't played him since the update.
I believe
it the crit bleeds again?
Yep. I believe it's the old good one.
Lovely. That's...
Yeah.
Well, 3rd time's a charm, right?
Yeah.
Andre London asks, can I see your mastery setup? That's probably... Vega's trying to get to the new champions as quickly as possible, so that's maybe not for this video. Do you have a mastery video, Vega?
No. But I always feel very comfortable recommending yours. It's in my essential YouTube video playlist. Yours being DLLs. Sorry, I realized that could have been a little confusing.
Yeah, I know we don't run exactly the same stuff, and I think you tend to switch a little more often than me, but I know we have a lot of the same thoughts.
Yeah, I switch all the time. I'm frequently switching with War. I'm looking to maximize out those fights. So I'll redo all 3 trees if I need to. And then for whatever else I'm trying to accomplish. Right now I have on, because I thought War would be starting. I have on a pretty...
If I had one.
Yeah. A pretty defensive build. It's not even defensive. I think a lot of people probably use this all the time. And it's good for science champions. For a lot of science champions. Sorry guys, I tried to just get through this fight, and talking is not the easiest with it.
I actually, I just unlocked Tech Collar myself.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, or technically I don't have it unlocked, but I bought all the cores. So I'm excited about that.
Are you waiting? Is there an event for that, or item use?
No, you can't unlock them without respecking your masteries, and I haven't done it yet.
What's up, Slaymon? How you doing, man? Maurice Bishop. Strikers need to be expanded to additional game modes. I think that they will. I believe this is just an initial testing, kind of see how it's going, aware that there may be bugs, that kind of thing. So I don't believe that that what we're seeing at this side quest is meant to be its, full life and what they're looking for out of it.
Yeah, kind of like when they tested the root mechanic. I think it's probably good for them.
Yeah, absolutely. Lands I don't know why I'm whispering it. Each time a cosmic attacker lands an attack, they have a 50% chance to appreciate buff to gain a vigilance buff, preventing attacks from missing for 5 seconds. So basically, I just want a lot of buffs.
Yeah, I think this is the one where I do Odin and Surfer every month.
Yeah,
literally nothing else.
Yeah, and for those of you who are have you not played? I tend not to pay attention to event quests at all. Each time the miss mechanic is...
Vega works on RAM for this game.
Yeah, honestly, I delete a lot of information. Each 10 hits, there's gonna be a falter. Is that?
Yeah.
Okay, but I'm gonna get the vigilance from having all the buffs.
Right, and if you have like I said, for Odin and Surfer, that's a high enough chance that usually it's just you get the vigilance every combo, and I don't think about it. Oh, and then Super Buffet. So not a cosmic for him.
Yeah.
Unless you want to bring Null or something and prove that he doesn't need buffs.
You know what? Simula did a really cool video on that today. I shared it out.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I kept telling, there's a couple commenters who kept asking me to do that in one of my Null videos. I just literally kept forgetting. because I would even remember the comment and then I'd just forget when it came time to do the video. Jeez Louise. Okay. So it's buffet, so Nimrod won't actually be helpful for this.
Right.
So just bring what, like Warlock?
Yeah, Warlock probably works. Oh, there's Under Pressure as well. I'm trying to think. You could also just go the Nullify Immune route.
I think I usually use Angela for this.
Oh, I could see that.
But I'm also typically running Suicides.
Farron says Kabam should do something about changing masteries. They have announced their intention to do so. They know it is something we desperately want. I know that everyone I've talked to in the CCP has doubled down on that and said, no, seriously, we really want it. It'll happen when it happens, unfortunately.
Yeah, I've even suggested, like, hey, I know you're working really hard on this, and thank you. In the meantime, you know what would be cool is if you removed all costs to do it. It would just be like a nice, like, hey, we realized we said we were doing this. We care about you, and
I like that. We care.
Yeah, like what is it? Crickets, right? Like it's like just it's like, hello, am I in here by myself? Oh, I am. Okay. So yeah, what are you gonna do? All right, let's just find the
easy. When I spec into Collar Tech, I will probably do it specifically to activate all 5. Because that would probably mean that was a war where I was running like Punisher 2099 or Guardian or something, probably with the Reed suppression pre-fights as well, and therefore not Mystics, so I might move the points out of Mystic Dispersion, something along those lines.
What's up, LK? Sounds like Overseer would just spare. Oh, yeah, I should have brought an Overseer.
I mean, it's not like Spidey won't do it.
Yeah. Well, whatever. Let's just get started.
Just hit into his block a bunch and laugh as he tries to regen.
Well, we'll see.
Okay.
We'll see.
That's the ideal scenario.
Yeah.
It probably would be fun to try Angela first.
She is a blast here. I think I usually put on the Odin pre-fights though, and I'm usually running Suicides, which
Gives you the healing right away.
Yeah. So, I don't enjoy playing Surfer as much. I think because I haven't dove into him as well.
I've been meaning to make a bit of a guide for him. I think that would be kind of an interesting one because he's so old that you would think everybody knows how to play him, but I think probably upwards of 85% of the people with a rank 3 Surfer never use him.
Yeah, I think most of us just were like, okay, I've paid my price, and now I'm just going to put him on the shelf. He's a trophy champion, basically, and that's where he goes.
Yeah, Buddy did do a really good video on him. If anybody is looking for some quick Surfer content, that would be the first place I would go, was right after Buddy Lee took his Surfer up. He did a video on how much he enjoys him and went over a lot of my favorite points about him. I still like Surfer without Odin. I've used him a few times. I think I even used him... I didn't end up using... No, I did. I brought him in the very last room in my Sabotage run against Clown. And he was helpful even without Odin. I think my plan was to then bring in Odin and make him insane, but that didn't end up happening.
You know what it is?
Cool. Okay, MSD has a rotation video from Surfer as well. Yeah, check those out. I
actually remember
a really solid champion.
And I remember literally where I was when I was listening to it. One of the things for me with Surfer is Here, I'll just show you guys. Is I end up like forgetting. For me, it's kind of like Shang-Chi. In that I feel like you really need to understand the champion to access what he's supposed to do, or what would be words are hard, advantageous for you to do at each moment. And if you don't, you're going to end up kind of like with what you're about to see.
I get what you mean, yeah. Which is funny because then when you've been playing Surfer for a while, like things start to feel completely automatic.
So that's comforting. That's the kind of thing that would get me to dive into him. But I don't feel like the results are like Shang-Chi level, so a player like me is just not as motivated, let's call it.
Yeah.
Although if that kills him, that's pretty fun. That's kind of motivating. I realize there's a lot going on that's helping him out there, though.
Yeah, but the Odin pre-fights and then throwing the special 2 is just always so satisfying.
Yeah. I'm anxious because I know it's like a pretty hot topic right now. No, I don't know HQ Sean. I just don't. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know him at all either. I think we've played with some of the same people over the years, maybe, but those people were not ones that I was close to. So.
Yeah, and you know what's funny is I feel like this. I did this on the Discord server the other day. I did not mean to be misleading. I actually played in the same alliance as him for a while, and he was.
Yeah, and that's how I was too.
And he was incredibly nice, like when there was interaction, but there just wasn't a lot of it. And I don't mean that in a bad way. It's just, you know, we've all been in some alliances where like the line chat's like nonstop, and others where there's just not a ton, you know.
Yeah, makes sense.
Okay, this is kind of fun. What's the buff? Does he have a synergy that made him pretty? That's a really helpful synergy. I feel like he got one recently. Recently being like the last 12 months.
Surfer?
Yeah, was it Odin?
Well, Odin has the pre-fights, but not the synergy. The one that I like bringing when I can is his with Hulk and Doctor Strange, because then the power cosmic comes back faster. But that's probably a pretty old one.
Again,
I'm checking. I'm pulling it.
Yeah, I'm saying like, I'm not the best Surfer player, as you guys are now seeing finally. There was a synergy that made me kind of excited for him when it came out. Whatever.
Oh, he has the panic button one with the heralds, but that seems old as well. Oh, Overseer maybe? Oh, he gets a precision, which would be extra direct damage.
I knew it was a champion that I was thinking of ranking myself. Obviously, I ended up ranking Overseer. There's stuff like that that's really fun too. I think if you start to get good with his miss mechanic, I know I actually used it in War a year and a half ago. There was like a kinetic transference in Section 1, Lane 7, and Blade was placed there a lot. This is a long time ago. And I know that like back then it was the Alliance and it was just like, yeah, whatever, figure it out. And it was still like a fairly high tier. And I brought in Surfer a couple times. It was really fun.
Oh, War Machine, 25% buff duration.
Oh, that sounds
That's
pretty
solid
good
as well.
That actually sounds really good. War Machine's someone I'm starting to consider ranking as well. Just because, again, like if you guys have seen my videos lately, you know that I feel like, well, we talked about it. I did the Risers and Fallers, and I have a feeling that just having Nimrod may not be enough. Or there might be benefits, because they're not the same. Nimrod and War Machine are not the same champion.
Yeah, but I get what you mean.
Yeah, this is kind of fun. Like when you can control the fight, I think there's a cool. Huh. Maybe I should dive into him a bit more.
Yeah, that was kind of how it was for me. I just started playing around with him because I knew that some people did enjoy him. Yeah, I think I had him as like a 455 because that was long enough ago that he actually potentially could have affected my prestige.
Yeah.
And so I started messing around with him as a 455 in like 7.2 with the Odin pre-fights, and he was out fighting my rank 3 Cosmics, and I was like, okay, there's something here.
I remember seeing, and then the well, I'll find out in a few seconds. But yeah, there's an armor break off the heavy. Oh, I like that. Huh.
Yeah, he's actually a very solid Emma counter. And one thing that I almost just brought him in for that Sentinel because his method of dealing damage, he doesn't really need to crit.
I'm back to the left side of my phone, just like not working, but whatever. We have other champions. That's what they're there for. The War Machine Shooter is pretty dope. Or Weld Machine as well.
That is
good. Like he can apply it on himself?
I think it's for all tech champs that use the pre-fight, if I remember correctly. I'm double checking. No, it is just War Machine. Okay. And that's also buff duration on Gamora and Heimdall. Well, okay.
Surfer was also dominating a side quest last year, so he has the unique immunity combo. Oh, that's right. He's got like but it's not immunity, it's resistance, if I recall correctly.
Yes, I think making that distinction is going to be more and more important as we go forward.
That feels like something they're diving into more, isn't it? Resistance versus immunity. I feel like, and we've talked about this a lot, and I don't think I did mention it in the Rise and Fallers video or the trending video, but I feel like they're separating out power like reversal and heal reversal. Like they're
yeah. Like there are things that I try not to be too pedantic in this game until it starts mattering. Like I used to not correct people on like direct damage versus energy damage, like them not being the same things, until it started really mattering because there were a bunch of people with energy versus physical resistance and more champions with energy attacks, and like that it really feels like Kabam is trying to expand their design space and really dial down on each piece of the game, and I'm really enjoying that.
It kind of feels like well, to me anyway, a fun way to be niche without like being niche in the negative way that has been done in the past. I don't know if that came across well. I'm trying to pay attention here. Like instead of it being like, okay, you have to have X champion, there are now going to be a variety of champions that do this thing. Yeah. Know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I think we've talked about this, so correct me if it's not what you mean. But like there's a need to be filled, and one of the old champions that everyone loves does fill that need. But then you have like 3 or 4 other champions that also do that. And then each of them does it in a slightly different way. So depending on like the next time that challenge comes back and is slightly different, maybe one of them is actually better for it. Or at least fits different play styles. I feel like that's something that's starting to matter in this game as well more, is when this game was young, I don't think it made as much sense for people to talk like they had, mains is something that people talk about in other games more. Where it's like, oh yeah, I play this character all the time. It's like, no, you need to play most of the characters. But I think we're...
Yeah.
Sorry, go on.
No, go for it. No, that's really good. Like I think that's a better analogy for it, is the idea of like a main. Like I'm a this main. I think it still kind of applies sometimes in war, particularly like for an Omega Red player, like their Slaymon. Or like Panaman Pete with Ghost. Legacy's kind of become like a bit of a Kitty Pryde main, that sort of thing. Right. Why was he going unblockable? I think there's a node that I definitely wasn't paying enough attention to.
Yeah, let's see. Oh, he was stealing your unblockable.
Well then,
Yep, that's one of them.
that's a thing.
That's annoying. But yeah, I feel like we're kind of getting there with like style now, because it's like for X matchup, sure, Nick probably handles it fine. Maybe Ghost probably handles it fine. But more and more these days, I think we're getting to the point where it's like they may be the best counters for some players, but not all players. Because not everybody thinks the same way, not everybody has the same instincts, not everybody has the same preferences, not everybody thinks the same things are interesting. And so I think we're more and more getting to the point where it's like you can do the same job with 5 completely different champions who between them cover the same pieces of utility that, 5 classic champions do.
This is a really bad display of Spider-Man 99. I'm still getting used to him. Wow, I did not expect that. There's nothing on the node buffing my damage, was there?
Not really, I don't think so.
I didn't have Wither up. I did not have that many unique debuffs at all. That was very surprising to me.
But I think you were because you normally run Despair, right?
Yeah. I have Despair on right now.
Yeah. So you were like completely shutting out his regen, and I think that's a big thing.
Yeah.
It's kind of like you always forget just how tiny Wolverine's health pool is until he can't heal at all, and then he dies instantly.
This is a good point. Whoever the guy, this is DL. I call him DLL. His channel's Daddy Longlegs. Amazing channel. Part of the rankings team. You've seen my rankings videos. He's one of the people who helps me out with that. Really knowledgeable. Has a great channel. I suggest going and taking a look at the description of this stream and all of my videos, and all of the channels for all of the rankings team is in there. PWF, it is rude, but something that a guy like Sabretooth would do. Now that I think about it, I should have understood. I should have known that he would do that. All right, let's check this out. What are we dealing with here? Every 5 critical hits, a skill champion. I know a skill champion who crits a lot. Lance purifies all damaging debuffs on them. But he has a cleanse, so help me out somehow. Each time a skill attacker is immune to a debuff or purifies a debuff. Okay, so he'll hit harder. Every 5 seconds, the attacker is affected with a debuff. Heal block passive.
This is the heal block one.
I know how much that irritates some people.
Yeah, I remember, for me, my only real options for this are Kingpin and Elsa, or, OG Black Panther. I think all 3 of them were really good for this. And then, obviously, you have yours.
Mr. Shang-Chi.
Yes, sir.
All right, and then this guy, when the attacker reaches 2 bars of power, the defender... Okay, so I'm used to that from War. Aggression Prowess. It's a passive. Dodge hit during a special attack. Grants attacker another prowess. So it's going to hurt our block proficiency. We have unblockable and power snap. Okay.
Percent per stack. Well, that's rude. Well, if you can get to the special 3, Spidey 99 still works, but...
I was thinking just like Surfer, or not Surfer, wow. Sorcerer Supreme, and maybe Doom? Is there something I'm not...
I buy that.
Yeah. It'd be fun to use Cap America Infinity War. He should be fine too, right?
His block proficiency may drop too much. But probably, because he does start off well.
You could try Nimrod. I was actually just because of the Nimrod videos and comments on it, I was telling someone, because they're like, look, you could just not get hit. I don't see what the big deal about prowess is. And I was like, well, first of all, some of us make mistakes. Yours truly being one of them. Also, Kabam is adding on additional effects or things that are happening because of the prowess. So it's not just like the prowess itself, like in here, and like literally lo and behold, because I don't think I've seen this before. Here we have this prowess is now granting something else. Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
Although I will point out, you're gaining those prowess.
Oh, reading is hard, folks. Reading is hard, especially for me. What's going on?
So when you dodge his special attacks, you get prowess. And then your block proficiency drops when you have prowess. So it's kind of a super glass cannon mode.
That's hilarious, especially because of my whole like, I'm right, and I'm going to show you why I'm right.
So that's actually, never mind. I take back what I said about Captain America Infinity War. He'd be great. You would just parry, or no, wait, never mind. They're unblockable. I was gonna say just block the special attacks.
All right, so I'm sure we'll get there and we'll realize what would have been a better idea. Unless someone in the chat's like, no, you got to use this champion. What's up, Super Sam? How you doing, man?
Hopper, you're using Chavez in the Mystic Quest?
How does she help? I'm actually very curious about that.
So
Or are you just doing it for fun?
I'd love to. I think that's just for fun because I don't think she interacts with it at all. Maybe there's something I'm not. There was a healing.
If there's power gain on the node, then her reversing it would be cool. But that's all I can think of.
She can heal. Wasn't there something about when the mystics heal?
Yes.
So maybe
I clearly don't know her well enough.
I wouldn't recommend it. I did use her for something in 7.3 though. And then I was like, I could take half an hour to do these two fights, or I could use a good champion. I was like, it's just not fun. I can use
a mystic that was tuned appropriately.
Exactly. She can do stuff. It just, yeah. All right. I think we're just gonna go here and
regen on the special too. That's right, and it drains power. Thank you.
Oh damn!
Because you just took her to rank 3 for defense, right, Toffrey? I was looking at her this morning and going, "Do I also want her at rank 3?" And I was like, "No, not yet."
Yeah, don't do that. For a second, I was like, I can't decide between these champions from my next rank 4. I'm just gonna take up America Chavez. And then I was like, yeah, that's not a good idea. Like, wait for the buff. Wait for the buff. She can regen. Yeah, slam it. Okay, 30 seconds. She actually can do things. Like when I read through her abilities initially in the CCP, and I think it was my first month in the CCP. I was genuinely excited. I was like, oh, okay, this is a relatively short list of abilities. This isn't like I don't need to remember all of these things. Her SIG ability even sounded like it was really going to benefit her as far as like putting stones in her. I was like, this is perfect. And then I started playing her, and the thing that kept happening is like every once in a while, the SP2 would do really good damage. And so her power control was able to work well enough to handle a very difficult fight. But more often than not, the SP2 would just like fits out, or whatever term, I'm not sure what the right term would be, but it just wouldn't do it. And then you would have to like almost reset all of this stuff. And conversely, the heal, actually sometimes you'll see your health bar jump like 10-15%. And I think what potentially happened is they were scared to make her too strong. Like there was fear that she would be doing like Sunspot type SB2s and have like Claire's potential to heal. And so they kind of went under. And I'm actually genuinely hopeful that there is a buff in the next, like, I don't know, let's say 3 months is realistic, 6 months, because she's been in the game a while, where they tune her back up. And I think she potentially could be an amazing champion, because I think it's there to have an amazing champion there. So All
I
right.
completely agree. And that's a lot like what I've been saying about Purgatory from playing her on my alt.
Yeah.
The more I play her, the more I'm like, oh, she was so close.
And you can see how that happens, right? Like if they're designing champions and they're like, for whatever, I don't know what the mechanism is, but that tells them like, don't go too far, dude. And this looks like it might be. So like, okay, I'll go here, here, and here, and then it goes live, and you get a turd basically, and they just ratchet it up a little bit. I don't know. That's my hope, and that's cool to hear about Purgatory too, because the animations are just beautiful.
Yeah, the more I play her, I'm like, she might need more, but I think that she would probably be okay with only 2 small changes. And that's not what I thought she needed.
Oh, was he stun immune? Did I already use it? I might have already used it. I don't know if
Speaking
Shang-Chi's...
of which, Ma is really fun for the Mystic Quest this month.
I almost grabbed him. Having an R3, I was like, that'll be fun to show people. And I'm realizing Shang-Chi, I don't know how great he is for streaming and talking. You just have to pay so much attention.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Freeze, I see Toffrey saying hi to Freeze, so I too will say, hey, Freeze, thanks for being here, buddy. All right, let's keep moving through.
And hi, Sam. Yeah, it's me.
Let's keep moving through.
That is true, Toffrey. I like how she can chain heavies into their combo. I was actually just thinking about that the other day. Was like, what would make... who was I thinking it for? I think MCoC. Because he would be significantly better if he could chain a heavy into a combo.
Dude, how funny was Campo's MCoC video?
That was that intro was amazing.
I didn't even ask him. Did he use like a voice modifier to do the like hype salesman voice in the beginning, or was because it kind of sounded like
that's
him?
Just him.
Yeah,
I think that's because he also has vocal training, and it's just kind of something that comes with it. Because I remember I did that on your stream once, and it just shocked people.
That was hilarious.
Yeah, he's very good at it.
Oh, ARZ, thank you. I'm someone who. This is what I'm talking about, guys. Like, hopefully everyone's like this. It's not just me. Like, there's just so many champions in the game. Like, part of what I like about using Overseer is that he goes stun immune. I tried to use him for a Section 3 part of AQ. Like, how did I forget that? Thank you. Jeez.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Sometimes just putting the 1 and 1 together.
Yeah, I don't know. Again, I feel like I'm always talking about how much I love war, but that's part of why I love war. It's just like, okay, for the next 4 minutes, I take a lot of Archangel fights, so for the next 25 seconds, remember a bunch of stuff,
Yeah.
And then you can just let it all go after that. Oh, I just messed that up. Man, I got lucky there. Let's see if this finishes him. Whew. I think he just didn't punish me. That wasn't Shang-Chi saving me, as much as I'd like to credit Shang, because he's that good. What's up, Derry? How you doing, man? Campo voice is awesome. The door-to-door sale. Yeah, thank you. It sounded like that with like a little bit of like Ringmaster. It was very cool. For those of you who have no idea what I'm talking about, Campo has done this really cool. I think he's trying to do it like monthly. It's like bad champ reviews, where for like the first minute to 3 minutes, he kind of just makes fun of the champion, but in a very humorous way. And then because he's such a smart player, he actively talks about how to maybe improve them and gives a lot of really good ideas. What's up, Jelly? How you doing, man? You just had did you just pull Herc or just finish huge content or both? I remember it was on the Discord server and it was very excited for you. If you don't mind refreshing my memory.
Duped Herc? I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, oh man. I think it was content in duping Herc or pulling Herc. Either way, it was very exciting.
Yeah, congrats to you.
Yeah. I recognize the name. The profile picture is different. Duped your Herc. There you go. Right. I want to let him throw his... You know what? I'm more scared of his SP2 than I think I should be. Does those sound like famous last words?
Oh, his?
Yeah.
It's... I'm embarrassed by how long that one took me.
No, I actually, I don't think I know it. I was just like, it's not going to kill me. Like, I'll be fine. But in war, I definitely try not to let him build to his SP2. The problem being the SP1 has the evade. Oh, dude, of course.
It's very similar timing to Sparks, and I think it's actually easier, but I just don't futz with it.
The SP2?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't think I know Sparkies, to be honest.
Yeah, that one took me longer than I'd like to admit as well. It's the hitboxes aren't like the. It's one of those things where it's like, I think some people are really good at specials because they just lock the timing into their brain and they're like, cool, I just do that every time. I can kind of do that, but I try and think in terms of like, where is the hitbox? Where's the projectile? Where's the explosion? Where do I move in relation to that? Like that's just, it's not that I think that that's better, it's that that's the only thing I can do. And so champions where the hitboxes are a little weird, like I think both of those spiders, or, you know, the infamous Doctor Strange special one, where the camera turns halfway through it and changes what the hitbox does.
Yeah.
Those have always been tough for me. It's why I think I completely gave up on Apocalypse's special 1 evade, because it is so clearly 2 laser blasts and it's 3 hits. And I'm still bitter about that. I know how to work on it. I've gotten it before, but I just use Guardian to perfect block it.
I gotta get to those because I am very visual with the evades. And Doctor Strange is such a classic one. Been in the game for so long, and I don't like knowing that I have to evade it.
See, that's exactly, you're one of the people I'm talking about, Slay. Like, yes, it is all practice, but it has been very clear to me from talking to you that you and I have to practice differently. Like, that's one of those things where it's, our learning styles are different in this game when it comes to those.
And MSD has confirmed that Overseer did work. I still think there's a little dash of MSD in there in that recipe, but I'm going to let it go.
Well, and he also says, I don't understand why people don't take the time to learn special dexes. That's the first thing I do. As do I, but it's the first thing that I do to the point where I learn how to fight them or get around them.
Yeah. Hold on, I'll provide my answer, and then is, I think so much of that, I know just for me, MSD is like let's say I have, 5 units of time for the game. Sometimes some special dexes, you're just like, I'm going to put that to the side. And like, I'll just always be scared of like a nihilist. Like, I know I can backstep light, and sometimes I get it, sometimes I don't. I know that's not a special, but it's a thing in the game. And it's like, you just are like, okay, I'm going to always be scared of that. Because you just like, you're choosing to do other things. But I think learning the special dexes would be incredibly helpful. Incredibly helpful.
Yeah. Like, I was just going to use last month's example of Craven. Like, yeah, very first fight I did, very first thing I did was, how do I not die to these specials?
Yeah.
And so part of that was, like, with the special 2, learning the timing on avoiding the trap at the very end. The bear trap thing. But that doesn't mean that I feel like I've mastered it. Like, for me to feel like I've mastered a special, I would want to be comfortable dealing with that when it's unblockable and I'm in the corner. I am at that point for a lot of specials, but that takes time that I'm not necessarily willing to devote to each new champion that comes out. Because kind of like Vega said, there are other things I prefer to focus on.
Oh, oh, power snack. Man, hood was not a good idea. Oh boy.
You're not wrong.
Yeah. Oh boy. Yeah. I'm hoping to power steal here. No! I did power steal. I got lucky and then I ruined it. Oh, I'm still alive.
If that isn't Hood in a nutshell right there.
I'm basically just pressing buttons too. I have no hopes of this fight actually going well. Oh, the shock wore off, so he got stunned. Right?
Oh, yeah.
There are nuggets of utility in Hood, man.
Yeah. But who is it we were talking to? Oh, yeah, Mobius, where it's like his SIG is really great, but you kind of want it really high if you're going to pretend that that power steal matters at all.
Like we just saw, right?
Right.
No. I could have actually done this fight.
Oof, power snack.
Yeah, I wasn't thinking about power snack, obviously. Anyways, fair point in regard to time. I find it super helpful to learn. So I do think that would probably be a really smart way to do it. Sorry to go back to that, but it would make a lot of sense, you know? Like, it would make you a better player, that's for sure. So in other words, if you want to get better at the game, yeah, that makes sense. But if you just want to screw around...
Yeah. Well, and Slay says, like, I only try to perfect special dexes for champs I take in war, and that I completely agree. Like, I duel the crap out of champions I take in war, and Slay has probably seen me get angry at people who take somebody like Nova. Like, I'm sure you've seen these deaths. You and I may have even both died to this in the past, if not this specific example. But if you're taking Nova and you only practice his special 1 evade, and then you die to his special 2 because your game plan was, well, I just won't let him get to it, that death is on you. Like, you should have prepped it. You should have included in your duel prep, okay, yeah, no, I'm gonna try to bait his special 1, but I need to be ready for his special 2. So I'm a huge stickler when it comes to war for things like that. But
Yeah.
if I'm clearing content, I am not above learning things well enough to get through.
For those wondering, yes, I did just slap my own forehead at my my mistake.
Yeah, Slay. It's what is it? One of my trombone teachers, I've said this on stream before, but one of my trombone teachers always used to say, you don't practice something until you get it right. You practice it until you can't get it wrong.
Yeah.
And I understand real life comes into play, and I'm not saying that everyone all the way down to like Silver 2 needs to approach war that way, but if you want your execution to be at that level, that is what you have to do.
I think we're finally at the 2 big boys, right?
Yeah.
You 7%.
Still need to read them.
Yeah. That's a bunch of stuff. Let's not worry about it. Each time a science attacker knocks the defender down while they're suffering from a power sting, slow, or weakness, the defender is inflicted with a non-sacking petrify. Why are those underlined in blue when the other stuff isn't?
They're slowly going through and keywording things, because if you click on petrify or slow, it'll tell you what they do now.
That's really cool. Okay, each time the defender would gain in power while... So basically just bring in science attackers and do science stuff, right?
Yeah, this is, I mean, surprising no one, this is one where I often just bring in Reed with the full Fantastic Four and laugh.
Every 15 seconds, the defender gains a power gain. Okay, cool. So I'm not seeing anything. We'll pick a path and use items if we need to. Sauron. Each time the attacker throws the same special in a row, the defender gains a fury. Okay. While the defender gains a regen, they also grant... Okay, fine. Each time the defender is knocked down, they gain a cruelty.
Oh, so he's gonna crit through your block a lot after you knock him down.
Yeah. Again, I'm not worried about that right now.
Mm-hmm.
Fellow champion's attack is increased by 500% when using heavy attack. While charging a heavy attack, this defender is unstoppable. Okay, so I think that's an interesting thing there. Because we're not going to be able to practice interrupting his heavy.
Although I will say, that says while charging,
Yeah.
that's different than heavy hitter. So the actual animation of the heavy is not unstoppable.
So what it'll just be like the initial beginning, not so interrupting is not correct. It's no.
Interrupting is a weird word.
Yeah.
That's a
Like assuming there's like assuming that's like a two-part heavy, we can't interrupt in between the first and second hit is what I'm saying.
I actually think you can.
Yeah.
It's just
that's what yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Who enjoyed this version of Who's On First between DOL and Vega? All right,
I
cool.
think Strands did. I think he has something to say.
Yeah, definitely Nimrod. Definitely Nimrod. I'm trying to figure out who else though, because Sauron is the one. We're not going to be able to look at his abilities right now, are we?
I mean, we can go to champ inventory, but that's about it.
Yeah, here, let's go look at it real quick, because I would like to try to bring in more than one option. Because I do feel confident Nimrod will work for these guys, as long as the nodes don't somehow just say don't use Nimrod. Okay, so increased personal prowess, but he's not the one that will stun us. No, he's not the one that will stun us. That's Toad.
Yeah, so you have to be really careful bleeding or incinerating him.
Yeah. And it looks like you can't manipulate his regen rate.
Mm-hmm.
So that means like even Despair will not affect him, correct?
I believe so.
Okay, so we don't want to mess with his ability accuracy. So like your dominoes. I can't think of someone else. There's no text to mess with the ability accuracy of mutants. If there is, let me know.
Man, people are gonna get really angry because they forget how Pacify works.
Yeah. Also, that's what I was just gonna say. So I am running Pacify. So keep that in mind, guys. And then additionally, I think he has abilities in here. I remembered when I did some initial read-throughs. He has some abilities that aren't 100%.
Yes, because he has that 30% chance to gain a regen passive whenever he's struck. And every time that doesn't happen, he has a 10%, or no, just flat out. So every single hit, he will either regen or gain prowess.
And then at 7 prowess, he's gonna basically go unblockable. Passive, dash attacks, heavy, and special. So you'd have to be like right up on him, and his heavy would still be unblockable.
Yeah, but you could parry his lights.
The unblockable passive is paused during special attacks and has a 10. But he's gonna go. So even if you like bait a heavy, he'll still be unblockable for 4 seconds. So you can't punish it, right? Or no, you could punish it. He's not unstoppable.
Yeah,
he's
it's not unstoppable. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So Nimrod. Who else do we want to try?
Guardian looks possible.
Guardian, and then just kind of play around the.
Right, and if he throws an unblockable special attack, you can block it potentially.
Okay. Obviously, War Machine, right, with his SP1 would be someone. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so these guys. Yeah, we had a couple of people saying War Machine. Travis, so you guys are
be very careful with Sentinel because you couldn't use the special too.
How many times did we say Nimrod? That would have been fun if we had timed that. It's probably like,
yeah.
They just said Nimrod 40 times in 30 seconds. And then Howard the Duck. Howard the Duck can also remove. So, but yeah, we'll go with Nimrod and Guardian. And then will Spider-Man 99 just flat work? I have not had him and done an event quest before. Will he just flat work for the EQ here? the node.
Yeah, I'm assuming so.
So I'll bring him and I guess Reed. And I'm not sure who else. And hopefully the game is not crashing because we're finally at Mr. Sauron and Mr. Toad.
Mark of the Gods says I'm level 36. Any tips on getting 5-star awakening gems? Honestly, that is probably not what your account needs to focus on. I know that's not what you want to hear, but I have a level 42, 43 alt right now, and that is just so far out of the realm of what I'm concerned with. Like, you know, you can keep working through act content because eventually that will give you 5-star awakening gems. You can try and do the side account stuff. I would try and get Uncollected as soon as you can because that often unlocks side quests that could push you towards those gems.
DLL, real quick, hold on, because I think you're giving good information, but I want to join the quest. Would Penny Parker work for this? Her auto block wouldn't help us at all, right?
Not when he's unblockable.
Yeah, he's still going to be unblockable. And we said we didn't want to bleed or incinerate him? There was two...
Well, you don't want to incinerate him if he has put his degen on you, and I think he has to hit you to do that.
Yeah, okay, that sounds like there's too many variables. We'll go with Guardian. I am curious about Penny, though, with her heal block. But that's a whole other thing. Sorry, and I interrupted you in the middle of that. I think you're providing good info. I actually agreed with a lot of what you're saying.
No worries. It says, how do I get Uncollected? So you have to beat Act 5, Chapter 2 once. So I actually recommend... I mean, you're already level 14. That's huge. One thing that I did at that point was I auto-fighted while not looking. Basically, anytime I didn't have time to play the game and use up my energy, I would make sure that I was auto-fighting Acts 1, 2, and 3. And then when I could play the game, I would be working on getting through Act 4 and then Act 5. You can do some of the stuff in the monthly EQ. Like, I 100%ed Master last month, and that was incredibly helpful for me while also being not too difficult, because that gives a bunch of 4-star shards and some 5-star shards. And I think that's more what you need to focus on, is build your roster, get and awaken more 4-stars, get them to rank 5 so you can use them. Start slowly building out your 5-star roster, and just kind of use who you have. You're not necessarily at the point where you can focus on awakening gems and getting exactly who you want yet. I hope that's helpful. But basically just kind of play through the act content as it tells you to. Push as far as you can once through on completion. Don't be afraid to use your items on that. Make sure to claim your free crystals when you log in so that you get the free potions and revives from that. And then when you hit a wall and you feel like you can't progress any further, that's when you go back and fully explore the things that you've already done and get more rewards that way.
Dude, this Captain Marvel is kicking my butt. Like,
ooh,
yeah,
I saw the heavy.
Like, and I can't even blame my phone. This is just me. Like, it's like she's I feel like she had a lot of caffeine.
And healing's pretty significant. Hi, Envy says, how do I become Thronebreaker? I want better rewards. That's just once through all of Act 6 and having a rank 3, right? So the important part is having a rank 3. If you're having trouble with getting tier 5 class catalysts, which is another thing that I know people have complained about as Cavaliers, just make sure you're doing the event quest. Because It can take a while to get random fragments adding up to a full catalyst of the class you want. But now that the event quest is a selector, odds are if there are like 2 classes you want to focus on, let's say you have a decent mutant to rank up and a decent mystic. Okay, then just 100% Cavalier event quest every month and pick either mutant or mystic. And then between that and other incidental T5CC you pick up, you will eventually get there. Ty says I need rank 3 6-star. What for? Because that's part of Thronebreaker. Like, that's the requirement, is that in addition to exploring that content, your account just has to have one. Easy suggestion about farming revives is also a good one if you get to the point where you're having trouble getting through fights without dying, but you think that you can reliably take off like 30%. And so if I just have a few revives, then I can get through this, and I can worry about doing it better later. But I would caution you, if you find yourself starting to spam revives to clear paths, then back up and ask for help. Talk to other people about, like, do I have better champions to handle this? Maybe try and record yourself, especially if you're playing on an iPhone, but I know there are recording technologies for Androids as well. Show it to other people, maybe join Discords and ask, like, hey, this is one of my fights, how can I get better? Is Diablo Unduped worth rank 3? It's not the worst. He's definitely stronger if you run the recoil tree masteries, what some people call suicides, so like Liquid Courage, Double Edge. But I think you would get quite a bit out of him even without that. Yeah, Nordic Hunter has another good point. If you haven't beaten Act 6 yet, then you don't really need to worry about having your rank 3 6-star. Both because it doesn't matter what order you do them in, and because beating Act 6 gives you a lot of the resources.
Yeah. Oh, the question was about Diablo. I don't know why I heard Mephisto. I had Mephisto on the brain today. All right. Are we finally at this guy? Oh, no, we've got more. Okay. I'm very excited to fight him.
Most people need revives for facing the Collector the first time. No, you're completely right. I just know that when I took the Collector on my alt, I had all of those revives from free crystals and just random drops on the quests that I had taken to there. But I also know that doing that as my second account, I had certain skills that I did not the first time through, so that may not be true. So it's a good suggestion, Easy.
I need to get used to Spider-Man's animations better.
That was something that I noticed with myself as well, because I have the 5-star at rank 1, and so I was doing some duels last season with him just to try and like compare notes with Strands for strategy, and he does. It's not that he's not smooth, but he doesn't move the way a lot of other champions do.
Yeah, and I haven't fought a lot of Purgatories lately, I guess. She's fallen into the category for me of I need to be a lot earlier on parries with her than I think I do.
Sure.
I think that's the bug, though. I don't know if that's going to be...
No, I know what you mean. Her sword champions, anyone whose hitbox is like way out in front has been really weird.
Yeah. I found myself having a weird time with Sentinel the other day, and I was like, no, I just need to be really, really early. Like on parries, reparries, the whole thing.
I do think Sorcerer Supreme, I would probably recommend her for your first rank 3 over Diablo for most people.
Who's asking?
This is Ty again, asking Sorcerer Supreme versus Unduped. Actually, I guess they're both Unduped, but Sorcerer Supreme versus Diablo for Thronebreaker.
Real quick, I would say, did we already establish if he runs Recoil Tree?
I
don't think we did, and I didn't ask about Mystic Dispersion yet either.
Yeah. So if you're running Mystic Dispersion, I think it would affect both of them similarly. But she's got the passive power gain already, right? And then recoil tree or not, if you're just like, because some people who run that by recoil tree, we're talking about the suicides. If you run those like all the time or you don't all the time, that would really make a big difference between those two. Both equally powerful champions. And then DL is excellent in this game and has been for a very long time. Sorcerer, I think, is more complex to play, like in the actual fight, remembering and kind of doing that. I think she's a little more complex than Diablo is. Diablo's pretty straightforward. There's some nuance, but he's pretty straightforward.
Harry heavy until special 3, right? I'm kidding. There is more to him than that, but that is a valid way to play him in a lot of fights.
Well, sometimes you gotta throw the special 2 DLL. Come on.
Yeah, I know. And sometimes you throw those special ones for the vials. But the funny thing is that when I play Sorcerer in a lot of fights, to me she just kind of feels like spam special 2s.
Yeah.
Because then you're just pausing. It's like, who cares which rune you need up? You have all of them.
Dude, you were literally just saying sword champions? Like...
Yeah, man. They've been rough.
Yeah.
I saw you get hit by Psylocke earlier. She has been a little tricky for me.
Maybe that's what it was. That was like, I think, the first fight, and I was like, what the heck is going on?
Rank 4 Mystic Dispersion and no recoil. Okay, then yeah, I definitely lean Sorcerer personally.
Yeah, if you like Sorcerer, and this isn't an insult, I think she's a relatively complex champion. If you use her and you're not finding yourself like getting a little confused, or should I throw the heavy or not, or which stance am I in? Like, if you feel confident in using her abilities, I think she's awesome.
Yeah. Please, anyone who has Sorcerer content, don't take this as a slight. This is just the first 2 things that are coming to mind for me. Or, sorry, 3 things. One, for a non-war perspective, because I think that that's sometimes important. I have some videos on my channel going over taking map 7 paths with Sorcerer. And I think that would be pretty helpful if you were starting out with her, because I talk over some of those things about how her runes work and that kind of stuff. I believe there's a playlist for like content guides on my channel. And then I know both Vega and B McG have used her in war and done really solid things, including boss kills. All 3 of those I think would be helpful if you're trying to figure out if she's for you.
I wanted to bring in Spider-Man, although he's low health. And then I was realizing that, part of what you want to do with him is hit into the block. And that would be a bad idea.
Yes, that would be less than ideal.
Yeah. I feel like that's becoming a bigger deal in this game. Is hitting into block intentionally.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot wrong. I'm not trying to say there's not, but there's things they're doing that I'm actually really enjoying. And that's one of them. I think that kind of files into what we were talking about earlier too, of like, niche is not the right word, but there's like uses for these abilities.
Yeah. I keep using the phrase design space because I feel like it kind of covers the ways in which they're being ambitious. And I'm a big fan of those. Their execution is not always there, but I mean, if there weren't smart and creative people working on this game, we would not still be here years later.
Or so we tell ourselves. Just kidding. Each time the attackers does special...
Vega's looking into the void and it's feeling a bit spicy today.
Yeah, I am. I just realized that. Thank you for laughing along. So, is there any node that was really an issue here?
I don't see anything that auto-inflicts his degen.
That scares me. That scares me that he's going to be a monster defender.
He's going to be unblockable.
Yeah, he is going to be unblockable a lot.
I saw Cam's tweet about make him a horseman, and he's basically just unblockable the whole time, which sounds super fun.
Yeah. So once he gets unblockable, is there any way to get rid of it?
I don't
think so. I saw someone earlier mention Strife. It's too late now, but
Oh yeah,
there's Slay on Q. But that is one way to do it.
right.
Maybe if Sinister actually gets buffed, he'll start being more important. But then that brings me back to, why would two of the best counters to a new mutant also be mutants?
Because that's how good mutant is.
Yeah, maybe Kabam should should take a look at. I mean, yeah, Nimrod is great, but
What about Miles? Or is Miles only on specials?
well, that's the thing, is that Miles will only activate his camo when Sauron throws a special, but then while it's up, yes, you will auto miss all unblockable attacks.
Look at that. I mean, I'm 10 hits in and he's unblockable.
Yep.
And there's nothing we can do about it. All right, let's see how bad his SP2
4
is.
seconds is a long time.
That was, oh, okay. I was like, that's not that bad. And then I got hit in the face.
Blam.
Yeah.
Hey BK, Happy New Year. Yeah, MSD, it does kind of feel like these two new mutants are like, I don't think you guys fully appreciated Nimrod. We're gonna make you like him.
Hey, I've been saying that Nimrod was the future, and that was way before I knew that these guys were coming out.
Yeah, no, I know.
Okay, it looks like you can outdistance that. Just guys, I have no idea how his anime. I've played him. I haven't even touched him on the CCP server or anything like that. But so this is all just about like discovery. I think you can outdistance that like cone or whatever he's shouting off of that appeared to be the SP2.
It doesn't look like a cross stream projectile.
So with Nimrod, so for those who aren't familiar, I'm not going to go over all of it. I have multiple videos on Nimrod, but we're going to basically try to stay in not Titan but Blitz protocol. And so anytime we attack, it will remove one prowess and a regeneration, replacing it with a shock debuff. So see if we can keep up. We should be able to keep up just fine because he's not gaining the prowess just because it was on hits, right? Let's see.
Yeah, because it's when his regen fails to trigger.
So now
And I agree with all the shouts mentioning War Machine as a possible substitute.
You don't want to take a heavy to the face, though. Nimrod can't withstand that. He can do a lot of things. Parrying this guy is not proving to be easy for me. And also, you can just do it
throwing off his hitbox or something.
into block. Yeah. I'm probably just a little slow, too.
Well, I'm just saying, like, why it could be difficult.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, so we just outdistance it. So that's not too bad.
Yeah, it's kind of like Kitty's special 2 is what that reminds me of. Or Mole Man's.
His initial it is a little bit interesting. I think it's going to take people a while to get parry down on this guy, and I don't think it's the bug. I think it's just like there's like a bit of a wind. I don't know how else to explain it.
Yeah, well, I mean, Nimrod is exactly as effective as expected.
Yeah, because and if you didn't let's say you didn't want to hit, because if you start off in the Titan protocol. The only way to get into the Blitz is to either let the protocol timer go all the way through, which you could do, or you finish a combo with a light. I think it has to be a 5-hit combo if I remember correctly. So Sauron will gain the prowess, as you saw there, from those hits, but he's not at 7, so he's not unblockable yet. Additionally, Nimrod will remove the prowess just by hitting into Sauron's block. So you could try to force him to block, and then obviously I took some hits to the face, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But when I wasn't getting smacked around, Nimrod was handling it, because he was even handling the healing too. So, yeah.
Taran says, would Archangel work? I'm not going to say no, but there are definitely some lines in that code that are anti-Archangel.
Yeah, I felt like I read some stuff that wasn't like the bleed, right? And then if you have the degen, it's going to increase or...
Right.
Yeah.
He, I I think he also gains crit resistance when bleeding, which means Archangel will apply fewer bleeds in the future.
Yeah.
And then he gains double the prowess, I believe.
I think they're going to slowly. I don't want to spend too, because I want to get to this one too. I think that's how they're going to slowly nerf Archangel. Is they did it once before with bleed and poison immune champs, like one or the other, and then I think this way they're going to just kind of slowly, like around the edges, get him, where it's like, no, you're going to pay a price. You can use Archangel, but you're going to pay a price for doing it, or you better hope you get those 3 or 4 Neuros up very quickly to start shutting things off.
You better have House of X on the team. You better
Good
have
point.
him as a horseman.
Yeah. All right, so each time a mutant attacker knocks it with a heavy attack.
Hey, Natalie, welcome to the stream.
What's up, Natalie? And Elsie is still here. What's up, man? Thank you for this. You've been here the whole time. Each time a mutant attacker knocks a defender down with a heavy, the attacker gains an unblockable. 3 seconds for each buff on the attacker. Okay. Each time a mutant attacker hits the defender with an unblockable, okay, the attacker gains a indefinite. Okay, so we actually do want this, and we want mutants with buffs. If I'm reading this correctly. Each time the defender receives a stun debuff, they reduce the duration further. Okay. Okay. That felt like a weird set of nodes.
Like, this is the one where I used Apocalypse and Horseman Storm Pyramid X the whole time. Maybe White Mags.
How did you get buffs on APOC?
I don't think it mattered because he just has so many.
Like, I was doing a lot of damage from heavies.
Got it.
I was looking down when you actually looked over the node, so I don't remember exactly.
Yeah. I guess I could always bring in Odin if I just really wanted to go heavy. Stunning immunity. When the attacker triggers an immunity, the defender becomes stun immune for... that's how they're going to get it, Nimrod. Because Nimrod is poison immune, for those who aren't familiar. And I believe Toad is going to be like applying poisons. So we'll still bring in Nimrod, but healthy interactions while under the effect of the heal, the defender gains a fury. Okay, so they're trying not to. They want you not to bring the heal block champions. So, like, I guess Warlock, huh? Well, that's a passive. All the defender's attacks are guaranteed critical hits. It's disabled for 8 seconds. The defender can crit through block. Okay. Toad might be brutal. Every 2 seconds on the timer. Cruelty. Each time the attacker is inflicted with any debuff, the defender gains a pass. Okay, so that's how they're trying to get at, like, because Herc is one of my other potential thoughts for this guy. Let's go look at his abilities again really quickly.
We got somebody in the chat saying Ultron for Toad.
Interesting. I like Ultron against mutants for sure. Because he's going to apply the degeneration and not the bleed.
Mm-hmm.
So he's going to gain these the prowess when a stun or personal poison is purified or fails to trigger. So that's how he's gaining it. So you're being punished doubly there for being poison immune because of the node. And then at 10, he's going to consume all of them and inflict a passive stun.
Yeah.
Wait, doesn't Ultron have a stun immunity synergy? I think he has one. Maybe that's why we're saying.
Let me check.
I
don't know, Highline. I'm gonna have to take a look at that. I do have some other things to do today, but I might.
Okay, so let's go ahead and go into. I could swear that Ultron has a stun immunity, and I think it has to do with how many armor ups he has. I also think it might be bugged.
Oh, there we go. My World of Metal. Each armor up buff reduces incoming stun debuff duration by 5 seconds or 0.5 seconds. Is it a debuff or a passive stun on Toad?
I think it's a passive. So
Of course it is.
Yeah, this wouldn't work anyways. Okay. Key thing is debuff. Yeah, stun duration. Okay, thanks guys. I wonder about like Hood. Hood goes stun immune. Yeah, I feel like you're gonna have to time a lot of things there. Plus, you're gonna be getting. He has no poison resistance, so I'm thinking Hercules. Hey, guess what? Hercules might be good for something. Finally, a use for that guy.
Right, and Dad points out, hey, this champion you may have heard of called Ghost could also be useful.
Ghost, really? Why Ghost?
I guess from purifying the poisons, because they only turn into passives on Purify if it's a skill champ.
Really? Ghost for Toad, easy. Alright. Well. Let me see if I can make it hard. Let's see if I can make it difficult. Alright. Did I see J Will? What's up, dude? How you doing, man? Alright, so it's really been a long time since Ghost was good for anything. Ghost and Hercules, like they just aren't used enough in this game.
Yeah, kudos to Kabam for helping out the underdogs.
I still want to try Herc just to see if it works, because there's something about, because he's actually stun immune, so is that going to trigger the immunity again? So I'm wondering about that interaction there.
Do it.
So we're saying Ghost, who a lot of people have, so I'm comfortable with that. Nimrod, because I love Nimrod. And then we were saying APOC.
Fun fact, Penny does bypass or counter destructive feedback. I just tested that, just in case.
Oh.
Because it counts as incoming damage, and so she reduces it to 0.
Okay, but she doesn't apply the damage to the defender.
No, you still lose out on that. That's why I said not bypass, but yeah, she was great for it.
That's really cool. Penny? This is the sort of, what did you say, design space? That was a good term for it. Being created.
Little things where it's like, oh, cool.
Yeah.
That has this interaction I hadn't thought of.
I think it's going to continue with, like, this. I think this is happening a lot. This isn't, like, going to blow anyone's mind here, but that we're going to continue to find uses for champions. Champions that are coming out last, like, let's say year and a half, maybe. I think it's going to be very common for CCP to be like, I think they're good, I'm not really sure, but here was this cool interaction. And then like 6 months later, 3 months later, depending on when people get them, we'll be like, no, this champion's awesome, and here's where you can use him. Here's all this place. You can't use him everywhere, but 30% of the game or something like that. I would not be surprised to see that trend continue.
So I have a question. Have you ever thrown a special 2 with Penny with Foresight up?
No, I don't think so. Is it like it's that good, huh?
I landed one on Sentinel that was like one of the big things I was gearing for.
Yeah.
She did 15,000 direct damage on every hit.
Yeah, she's good.
I am a kid in a candy shop sometimes.
You sounded like it.
So much fun.
Let's go ahead and
I don't know how long you're planning on going, by the way, but I probably do need to leave after the first Toad takedown.
I think that might be it, especially if he's as simple as it sounds like he might be.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So basically, I just want to heavy him over and over. Yeah?
Yeah, I think something like...
Whatever. We'll see what happens. I want to get to Toad.
Yeah.
I want to get to Toad.
And or countering his... You may have to end up countering his heavies and specials with Apocalypse.
So far, so good.
Yeah, but I think this is the quest where, like I said, I would make House of X or Storm X a horseman, and then it was just funny from there.
Oh, you didn't actually use Apocalypse.
No.
Oh.
I mean, I did for the first fight, but because he does work, especially if you do those heavy counters.
Been a while, yeah. I haven't fought a Daredevil in a bit. He was in that like one variant, right? And I feel like that's where I kind of got used to his specials and animations, and then ever since then, I haven't really seen him.
Where everyone took him with Ghost before they added his miss immunity.
Yeah. Good luck, dude. B1 Conway, getting Nimrod and Kitty. Don't forget about Null. There's like, they're great champions and all situated well for where the game appears to be headed. Plenty of uses. And we don't even really know about Icarus, right? I mean, I think he's not bugged anymore. I don't know. I haven't really wanted to dive into him that much because of thought that he may actually still be bugged or be bugged again. I don't even know.
Yeah, I don't know on him.
And I wasn't kidding. I actually like Cersei. I think she can do things, and I think she could be very helpful to accounts.
Her and Kitty are the two that I want, honestly.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Will you put Six Stones into Cersei?
Done with Surfer, so why not?
Wow. That's right. Oh, because
high up there.
Oh man, you really like Thor's dad. I can't think of his name.
Odin.
Yeah. And it's not like he's using up 6 stones for you.
No, he is never getting a single 6 stone.
I still don't understand that
sig.
sig.
So bad.
Yeah, I don't understand it.
Yeah, because it's like
He's not a defender. So
no. And it's only when he knocks someone down. And that's not something that happens that often when you're fighting a defender. Well, it shouldn't be.
yeah. It's gone poor. He doesn't It's gone poorly
that's
at that
what's
point.
winning the fight if
Yeah.
it's happened.
That was funny.
Yeah, I don't understand his sig because I think somebody said like, oh, it was probably set up that way before they buffed him. Okay, but 2 things. Well, then why didn't they change it when they buffed him? Because they changed other things. And 2, even then, like when he didn't have the Fury and the armor up, even at max sig, the Furies and armors that he gains from it are horribly weak. So like, what is he really gaining? It's just like it makes his special 2 bigger, but like then why would you ever feed him sig stones? And 3 of the buffs that he copies, physical resist, energy resist, and crit resist, are just so rare. It's okay. Rant over.
And you know, Riley's bringing up an interesting point about Kingpin with Hood, but I think there was something in there specifically about skill champions, right?
Yes, you do not want to use a skill purifier on Toad because I forget if it's 100% chance, but there is at least a chance to then convert all of those paralytic poisons to passives instead. And
it is considered a purify because I remember using
Kingpin's is
using Kingpin in map 8. There's a node that I use him for, and the purifies, you get like this charge that allows you to block an unblockable, and he just gets a tremendous amount. So good thought. I just think that there's something specific that would actually make it, not work out the way we would want it to.
Yeah, and I'm actually a big fan of that because, he's a mutant. If he's going to be really annoying to one class, it should be skill.
I like that. I'm in favor. I enjoy those sorts of things. What's up, Dom? How you doing, man? Thanks for being here.
Hey, Domadays.
We are about to kill Toad here. Sauron. What are we thinking about Sauron there? I felt like he was Nimrod food. That's not surprising. Who else did we think?
Seems like he was. There were some problems to him otherwise.
Yeah.
I don't know. They both seem interesting. They both seem like they could be defenders, but like also, they're both mutants. So are they going to be remotely good enough defenders unless you put them in big important places and ban Apocalypse, Corvus, and Ghost every war? Or are they just going to get steamrolled?
Yeah. And then I am going to dive into them offensively, of course, like when we're allowed to, CCP-wise. And then I'm sure people will pull them and put out videos, of course, as well. Because I'm sure there's going to be, kind of like we're saying, there's going to be all these nuances. I like JL's term of design space. There's going to be uses. I think with both of them. I'd be very surprised if there's not.
Yeah.
Oh, of course, Riley. It's a good shout. It was a good shout. Doc Ock would own Sauron too.
Interesting.
Yeah.
You're going to have to explain that one to me, because I would think that could actually be a problem for him.
The power. I don't know Doc Ock that well, because I'm thinking.
But Doc Ock will still hit him, so he'll still gain prowess, and I don't think Doc Ock deals with his prowess, and then he goes unblockable.
Yeah, and we didn't investigate it actually that fully, but the only way I saw to get rid of the prowess, unless you're using a champion who gets rid of them, like a Nimrod or a War Machine or Duck, is for him to then throw a special. So you want him throwing the specials. So that could be a way to do it, because the SP2 wasn't bad at all, and you could outdistance that kind of shouting cone. So trying to force him to his SP2, the problem is you're going to have to hit him more than 7 times to get him to his SP2. Maybe the SP1's not bad either.
I could see it. I mean, maybe it's kind of like... what am I thinking? Like taking Bishop with somebody like Gilly 99, where you push him to the special 2 anyway.
Yeah, like intentionally ending your combo in a light so that you're trying to tell him, please don't throw your special on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I could see, like in a pinch, if you really needed to do that. Yeah, that's interesting. Oh yeah, Nimrod's awesome, guys. I'm not joking with my Nimrod love. I'm responding to a comment. I realize that probably sounded pretty weird. Congratulations. Man, I thought I was going to get to my... That's something else I was thinking about with rank 4s, and it's starting to be talked about. Like Enzo put out a pretty cool rank 4 versus rank 3 like damage video today.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not going to be massive, but the power gain difference.
Mm-hmm.
And I was wondering about that being really helpful to a champion like Spidey 99 as well. I knew she was going to want to throw her SP3. I thought I was going to get her. With his ability just to throw his specials, get that SP1 going, get back to the SP2. I don't know. I'm trying to think of like different reasons to differentiate between these champions.
It was one of the biggest factors in my decision to rank 4 Reed. Because already, I know you've seen some of my power snack fights where I don't power start, but because I run the Petrify Mastery and I'm very careful with hitting them just during stuns, I can beat them to the special 2. That'll be even easier if I'm gaining extra power. BK, I gotta admit, that is the first time I've ever been told I sound like Ryan Reynolds.
No, so I saw the comment. You guys can see I saw the comment and I was like, oh, that's weird. And then I kind of like tried to hear it, and I was like, oh my god, he does sound like Ryan Reynolds. Like, man, dude.
I guess it's the inflection or something, because like he has a higher voice than me.
What's weird is actually when you were doing the deeper, I heard it a little bit more. That is really funny. Great call. Great call.
It's really funny.
If you're interested, I got a Doc Ock vid coming out with a day or two. Yeah, dude. Aiden, you're on the Discord, aren't you? I recognize your name. Or maybe it's just from streams or comments. But if you're on, I think you're on the Discord. I'm even picturing a profile picture. Put it up in the self promo, dude. I go through and I checked out pretty often, actually. A lot of good content creators out there. That'd be cool to see.
Yeah, I'm definitely interested to see Ock take on. I'm kind of hearing it now too. Okay, it's the, it's the brighter part of my voice.
Like right when you said two,
that's gonna bother me for a while.
I think you could actually go somewhere with this. We could pretend we have Ryan Reynolds on stream, or when you're streaming, you could stream as Deadpool. I don't know, something to consider.
An impression I may try offline.
Yeah,
but yeah, I'm curious. I'm wondering if I just wonder about the thing that I always wonder with Backdraft, which is what happens the first time that they idle forward in light attack.
Yeah. I totally forgot all the research we did. I had fun with the Ryan Reynolds stuff. Immunity. Okay, so whenever there triggers an immunity, the defender gains. Okay. All right. Yeah, let's try out Ghost.
I'm not paying attention either. That's the 5th time I've hit into heavy hitter on this quest.
Yeah, I think
Don't do that.
Oh, wow. His animations are... he's a frog. Or a toad. And he's probably pissed off I just called him a frog.
Is he jumping all over the place and
yeah.
annoying? Yeah.
Tongue attack. Okay.
Vega, have you seen the silly TikTok with Ryan Reynolds and Will Ferrell?
Sorry, hold on.
If you had, you would instantly know what I was talking about.
No.
Okay. I'll have to find it and send it to you because it's both of them singing,
and it's what proves that Ryan Reynolds has a significantly higher voice than me.
So I think a lot of it's just getting used to it. That is really delicious watching that animation. I think a lot of it's just getting used to his like animations. Plus, he did a lot of the like not attacking into Ghost when she is phased. It took me a while to remember I didn't have Wasp, so there's a lot in there. But I can see why people are saying Ghost could work or would work. Yeah, that was interesting.
I do agree with that often, Simrat, that yeah, if you're looking at those vivified lanes, Doc Ock is great.
Art Riley's asking R3 unduped Kingpin or 45 King Groot, my first R3.
Ooh.
I wanted to say Kingpin, but Kingpin being unduped, and King Groot is so good.
Yeah, the more I think about it, for first rank 3, King Groot's actually really good.
I think so too. If you like King Groot and you're comfortable playing him, I think King Groot. I mean, he's a beast.
Yeah, he helps so much just as a lane clearer. He's bleed immune. He doesn't require a synergy. He shreds robots. He can take Penny Parker if you need somebody to be able to do that. I've talked to a number of people, like when I did my Essentials videos for Alliance War Offense, which I do have an update on that. It's coming out soon. But there were a number of people who said, hey, you're underrating King Groot. I use him to solo apocalypse bosses. And like, they were talking, you know, probably tier 3, tier 4, and so they acknowledge that, but, you know, most people do not play the game in tier 1, so King Groot is really good.
So this is interesting, like, I mean, we all know that Herc has that poison resistance, but he was actually healing from... Is that technically a poison?
Yeah, it is.
But it's paralytic poison? I mean, he's healing from it. He's not with 2 up, but they don't last that long. I'm kind of just trying to test this out more than trying to win this fight. Let's see these animations.
Ooh, Sin says King Groot's going to be their first R4. Congrats.
Huge
It's
congratulations.
going to be a fun one.
Well, okay. That does a lot of damage.
That is a really freaking long tongue.
Yeah. It sounds ridiculous when you say it, right? You're like, oh, of course it is. He's a toad.
Yeah, but it's still surprising.
Oh, yeah. You saw what it did to me when I was like, oh, wow, okay. Why are we doing so little damage? Was there something on the node, or does he have some sort of defensive damage
Minimize the app.
mitigating? I was very surprised. Like, once I finally decided to try to damage him, I was surprised at how little damage we were doing.
King Groot versus Cull. Sadly, I think that that's an easy King Groot, although I love me some Cull. And if I had a 6-star King Groot, then I would feed my 5-star Cull. Because he's so much fun.
Trying to bring up Toad's abilities just to see if there was something
Yeah, I'm reading through them.
mitigating. I think getting used to his like any new champion, getting used to his animations will help a lot. But it started to kind of feel it wasn't too bad.
A fair amount of it is probably the regen because it's missing health and it gets stronger with your combo meter.
Okay.
That's the only thing I see in his actual abilities.
Yeah. Maybe Herc was hitting hard and I just didn't really think he was. I'm kind of getting excited for what people are saying about the side quest. We're seeing some pretty positive reviews on it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Oh, somebody says, who should I rank 3? All Awakened, and this is for Thronebreaker. So Nebula, Ultron, or Gilly 99. I think I vote Ultron, but there are probably arguments for all 3. You're definitely going to get some spirited votes for Gilly 99. But I think I vote Ultron. I just like him a lot.
Yeah, Nimrod this just in, Nimrod's good. This guy, wow. Toad just feeds into what Nimrod does. I mean, he's healing and prowess. Like, that is the perfect cocktail for Nimrod to be. Like, I intentionally tried not to show too many Nimrod fights like this in the Nimrod videos I made, because I didn't want people to be like, well, why did Vega get these results and I'm fighting like Kingpin, you know?
I have neither Nimrod nor War Machine, so my experience will be interesting.
Very different. Do you have Herc? Because honestly, Herc was...
I do have Herc, yeah.
Herc was working fine. The SP1, I'm sure you saw, was not a big deal at all to evade. He's herky-jerky in his movements, but I think
I'm at least going to try Penny.
I'm curious about Penny. I think there's going to be a lot of these other options that we're just not totally... She has a unique set of immunities, too. Is she poison and incinerate?
Yeah, that's a little bit more common these days, but it's still important.
There was something there about him when the defender or the attacker or the his opponent is immune.
I think he just gains extra prowess, so I have to be careful.
Yeah, but he's not going unblockable like Sauron is, right? So.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. I don't think these were. I don't want to say they're easy, especially like the guy with like a bunch of R3s is like, this was really easy. So I'm not saying that. I'm definitely not saying they're easy.
It was a little more automatic than Kraven last month.
Yeah, I think it's significantly more because I think I happen to have it rank 3 and love the guy that just demolishes both of them from what we could tell. So I'm very curious to see what other options come up with. we're hearing Ghost, we're hearing Herc. I think Herc worked fine. So all right.
All right, gentlefolk. Well, that concludes today's commercial for the next feature crystal.
Exactly.
Good Lord.
That's funny. Well, everyone, thank you so much for watching. This was an absolute blast. I will do streams where we get to chat as much as we used to. Like JJ, I can't believe JJ was here and I didn't even say hello. Nordic Hunter, so many people. Sense of Hell, I can't believe I didn't say sorry, guys. I just was focused on the gameplay today. Thank you everyone for hanging out. It's usual though. You guys make this a blast. And then DLL, for everyone, I can see there's still quite a few viewers here. Go check out his channel. It is listed in the description. You just heard, this was like, depending on how long you were here, there's so much more knowledge out there, and he's got it on his channel. Go check it out. DL, thank you so much for being here. And then a huge thanks to OG Highline for the donation as well. I really appreciate it, my friend. And then again, DLL, thank you for being here. You have anything else you'd like to add?
No, I just definitely need to find that TikTok and post it because I Am Vega Man was just quoting.
Put it in, you'll put it up on Discord?
Yeah, I will.
Right on. All right. Well, thank you so much for being here, dude. And I know you'll find other answers for this. I'm looking forward to hearing what they are.
Yeah, I may stream this myself tonight if I've got time.
Cool. I'll try my best to check that out too.
Awesome.
Take care, everybody.
Take care, everyone.